The following podcast may contain spoilers.
Hello and welcome again to Treading the Path of Heaven, your friendly neighborhood web novel appreciation podcast. I am your host, Jonathan Kinney, joined as always by my fellow co-hosts.
I am the knight, Bill Grimion.
I am not the knight. I'm Rich.
I'm something. I'm Seth.
And there you have it. This one we're doing a heavily requested episode. One I think honestly we may not have given full justice to on our first go-round. But unlike our normal episodes, this is yet another rendition of our Treading the Path of Heaven Nights.
Nice. This is the first nights I've been here for.
It'll be exciting. Only Richard and I have actually finished the novel in question. This week we will be reviewing Everyone Else's Returnee. Take 2, this time with all the spoilers. So, really, if you care about spoilers, if you haven't read Everyone Else's Returnee, don't listen to this. I apologize to Seth and Bill, who we will be spoiling this for.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that shit ruined out of it for me, but enjoy that. That's cool. You get to, that's a cool thing to enjoy. Get to listen to a person go, "Oh fuck!" a bunch.
I mean,
Let's go ahead and get into it. When we had talked about it earlier, we had kind of talked about just the very basic premise of it, just kind of touch base on what we had done before. We had talked about the basic idea of the main character, Yuilhan, which translates to unique or soul, basically in Korean, was left behind on Earth because God transported everyone to another world, and his unnatural concealment ability, his ability to not be noticed, his social invisibility is so powerful that God himself missed him in this process.
It actually is crazy to me that the angel Lita at this point isn't more blown away that God of all people missed out on this one dude.
Well, I mean, she would believe it, but it was an S-rank skill, S-rank skill and max level. So, what are you going to do? It's one of the top skills in the universe. Why would Yuilhan have such a thing? If only there was some reason. Oh, wait, there's a reason for every fucking thing in this goddamn novel, because it's all a setup from the very beginning. And I think, honestly, if we're just going to spoil the hell out of this, a great place to start would be, what is Yuilhan's origins?
Can we start with those?
Let's just fucking go hard.
This is the Giants. Turn it off from this point forward. Okay.
If you want to read this, go away.
So when I was reading this, I'm like you get quotes from his mom. It's like, your dad was hard to find, but I found him. Okay. So his father is quite the guy. He's on the level of the faction leaders. In fact, he is a faction leader.
Yeah, alright. So, you know how we have Lita, right? She's purporting to be a part of Heaven's army.
Yeah.
They fight against all that, right? So there are 4 factions.
Alright.
They are basically led by the biblical angels. They're not actually the angels
but a Gabriel
of the Bible, but they
Michael.
are Gabriel, Michael, Uriel.
Yeah. The standard asshole angels.
so which one is he? Michael? Metatron? What we got?
Ooh, who's Metatron?
Metatron isn't a thing that I remember.
He's not a thing that
Damn it.
No.
It's
Fucking
Metatron. It's
Metatron.
Michael.
It's Michael.
No, he was Gabriel.
You're right,
Gabriel?
His dad is Gabriel.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, Gabriel. Michael was the fucking leader of the Heaven's
Michael
army.
is a jobber.
Asshole. I'm sorry. That's absolutely wrong. No, it is Gabriel.
Yeah, guys,
and
turn it up.
Gabriel's has this cool ability, right? Not only can he blend in, he's real stealthy, but he has this horrific problem that great men tend to have in these fantasy novels, where he can see prophetic visions of the future. He can see the mysteries of the universe partially. And he saw some real fucked up shit. And he was like, I need to fix this problem before the universe just ends.
So he basically moved the entire universe to conspire Yuilhan to exist.
Yes, 100%.
I see.
He is the reason why Yuilhan was stuck on Earth for that long. Because he wanted to give his son time to grow. And of course he believed in his son.
I mean, it's his progeny. Yuilhan is his father's son. 100%.
Yeah. Also his mother's son.
Oh, no. His mother, I don't know how Gabriel was like, let me go to this backwater ass planet and find impeccable pedigree. Okay.
Well, the reason is because she found him, and he, like Yu Ilhan, has max level concealment. So the fact that she was able to find him means she's something special.
Yeah,
absolutely. And it turns out he makes her something special because when he does the whole Yu Ilhan thing, his mom had a very similar experience, except she was not put in a 1,000-year period. She was put in a timeless thing where she fought against spirits literally composed of time and space until she became a master of the elements themselves and was able to break herself out of the spirit.
There's no way to explain how it worked. Like, when she was in
Okasan sorceress.
So his mom is a more baller version of him this whole time?
When he becomes strong and, like, actually solves, I think maybe, like, not the third great cataclysm, that's a whole different thing, but I think, like, the third, like, major world problem he had solved in the course of the story, like, he kind of realized that his mom was, like, he was like, oh man, he struggled really hard to solve this thing and do all this thing. And then he realizes, like, way later down in the story, oh shit, my mom was a 4th class person at that time.
Yes.
And could have, like, easily destroyed this thing by herself. My mom was the strongest person on Earth for a long time.
And she's just been chilling, like cooking food and dinner and hanging out. I'm like, go have fun, son. When she could have just solved the problem.
So this is just better Mom Sakai, right?
I don't even want to talk about that.
It's like Mom Sakai, if the mom spent time, like the heat death of the universe, trapped in an area where up, down, vision, light, the concepts don't exist, with just your own brain and spirits trying to torture you.
Essentially, Mom Sakai, if it was fair that she had her powers.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
His mom's so fucking dope, dude.
She's too strong.
His mom's great. So this is where Yu Ilhan, which makes a lot of his birth make sense, because, like, a lot of the circumstances and things that he were put under exist because his father knew prophecy, and therefore moved things to exist in that way. Now, the other thing is Yu Ilhan himself, because he far outperformed his father's expectations, because Yu Ilhan, my favorite thing about him, is he is the one who knows and breaks all 4 shadows.
He's mad genre savvy, so he has ideas of how things are going on, so he tries to get ahead of it.
Okay. He, like, fourth wall breaks, but, like, he's genre savvy to himself, basically. Like, he's, like, talking to himself as if he's writing the story going. He's like, oh, I can see where this is going. I know how this foreshadow works. I read all of the literature on Earth.
Well, speaking of genre savvy, this book covers a bunch of genres, as is noted on Novel Updates. I wanted to name a couple and see if you could name me stories based on, you know, how they, so, like, for example, how is this a harem story?
Oh, boy.
This is a harem story because the main character, being the best person in the fucking universe, quite literally by the end of the story, has attracted many young beauties. As we know from Chinese novels, beauties love heroes and heroes love beauties.
Also, his beauties are all amazing. You know how in Tenchi Muyo, like the old Tenchi, like first Tenchi, Ryuoki, where like 2 of the girls are just way too good. Like just way too good compared to everyone. This is a situation where like all of his girls are that.
All of them are Ryuoki.
Yeah, no, Kang Mirai, head of the Lightning God clan, the first person to actually recognize his potential and fight alongside him in the book. I think actually, literally even you had met her in the 25 chapters in the beginning.
There's a part where everyone separates and does their own thing, and she just creates her own version of magic. Her own concept of magic that violates time and space, but it's cool. She has to be at minimum that good to look good enough to Yu Ilhan's mother, who also violates how magic works.
And one of his other people is Na Yuna, a person literally blessed by the god of beauty, because the god is like, you're pretty enough to deserve
her
this.
Power is just, she's just that fine. Like, that is it.
She could kick a puppy and no one would blame her.
She would kick a puppy and they would execute the puppy. That's how beautiful Na Yuna is.
She's the annoying mascot character and everyone's still like, yeah!
And the thing is, she gets shit done. Like, she's so pretty. She buffs people by being pretty.
Yeah, she's
around and being pretty.
She's so pretty that she's divine because her god is the god of beauty. So the prettier she is, the more divine power she has access to.
Like Yu Ilhan was like, did you just look at me and I got stronger?
And then, of course, that's why she's a good addition to the harem.
Oh, yeah, and she's prayed to like a god.
Yeah. Lita, aka Liera, the angel that becomes Liera.
Goddess of love.
Yeah, gets similarly blessed by the goddess of love because of how obsessed she becomes with Yu Ilhan.
She loves Yu Ilhan because she spent thousands of years with him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then like it is the OTP, right? The one true pairing from the beginning of the story. Like from the very beginning. This is a thing that's gonna happen, and she gets more and more powerful because she manifests a spear of love to kill people.
It's
so sick.
It's pretty great, but like it is definitely a harem. It's to the point where it's like they are a couple that is like not able to be defiled until it becomes the point where Yu Ilhan ceases to be a being that is close enough to a human that it's really fair to trap him by human mores anymore.
How am I not talking about Spiera? The Spiera relationship is fucking hilarious, okay?
Spiera?
Spiera
is the third angel that he contracts with because Heaven's Army really starts to invest.
Oh yeah, because they keep giving him stuff. But she was like a step above everyone because it was Erda and Lita. And Lita, because of her service, got buffed up to Liera because again, they're like
in Heaven's Army, when you raise in ranks, the end of your name changes appropriately, not unlike Final Fantasy magic. So it started as Lita, she became as a 5th level because that's what 5th ranked beings are, and that's why Erda, the other angel, also has the Ta ending. Yeah. But then Lita gets upgraded during the course of the story so that she becomes Liera.
It's also really hard to get to like the TA ending, like Erda. It's hard getting there.
Yeah,
like, she had to rise up from being a human being and then class up to angel and then rise up several more times. Like, Erda's like 70,000 years old.
And she's young.
She's young for an angel. 70,000 years to get to that point.
She's a genius.
Yeah, no, she is actually.
Genius of geniuses is actually intense.
But no, it's like to be a 5th level being means you've basically transcended a mortal world. Angels are beings that were basically the best person in their world and broke out of their plane.
Ooh, baller.
And got recruited by Heaven to break out.
And that's for all of the different factions, right? Because
you got Heaven's Army, there's the Garden of God, what's the name?
Yeah, Gabriel's faction.
His dad actually is the leader of one of the factions.
Which works out because that's how you made, like, the best character. What is it, Ymir, yeah. Ymir, his son. His son, Ymir. All right, the first son. Not the only son. First son, Ymir.
There is a beautiful concept that Yu Ilhan's mother has that is, I want to see a soccer match of my grandchildren.
Oh, Jesus.
It happens. And it's awesome.
It's amazing.
And they're all monsters.
Because they're all like insane, higher level, super powered.
These are the children of the god of gods.
Yeah. The 4 high level factions are Heaven's Army, Army of Brilliant Light, Garden of Sunset, and the Destruction Demon Army, which are pretty much all run by archangels or equivalents. One of them's run by Satan. Spoilers.
I like the okay. The Destruction Demon Army's leader is fucking dope, okay? Fucking cool. All the interactions Ilhan has with that guy, I forgot his name.
Greed.
All the interactions with Greed.
We can spoil everything. It is actually God.
Sick.
The God of Heaven runs away. There's a big part of the story. Most of the story is about the fucking angels. God disappeared and the angels are like, oh.
How do we fix this?
What do we do?
That's literally what the majority of the plot of this book is about. Gabriel literally realized that to be able to free God, they had to kill all of the archangels, the 4 archangels, to free the power of God so it could go back and stuff. But then, of course, Yu Ilhan, being the one who breaks all 4 shadows and decides his own path and gets around it. But that's because he's Yu Ilhan. But anyway, we've gone way away from Harem. Give me another genre.
Well, not only that, to top it off, what's the number? What do you think the number hits for his harem?
Oh, what major harem?
Yeah, major characters.
I don't
like
ones that weren't confirmed harem members. I would
1, 2, 3. God, okay. I only remember the girls I really care
Lita,
about.
Erda,
Spiera.
Was Spiera?
Yeah, She was
I
part of the harem. Yeah.
I don't remember her actually being part of the harem.
100%. She loves him, and he recreated her.
I do remember.
And she became a wife.
Yeah, I just didn't remember the.
Yes, Spiera.
That's so many spoilers in so many declarative statements.
We told you we were going to be spoiling.
Okay, Dragon's Nest pretty much every female that isn't like Michael Smithson's wife, Catalina or Katarina or...
Tell me about Michael Smithson. His name is incredible. I'm sorry.
Michael
the Metal
Smithson is
Knights
an American
from Britain. He's
British. Sorry,
Michael Smithson is British because he's with the Metal Knights.
they're big like tower shield holding guys. And they're
Defensive.
like, we're the defense shield.
And
We're never gonna have to use offense.
we didn't
and then
wanna-
like they immediately learn they need offense, so they team up with the most offensive group of mages.
The
And then-
Italian chick and her mages.
Of course.
And they they have to survive alone on like apocalypse planets. Planets start dying, and like Yu Il-han had to rise up to save these key people. They all got like apocalypse planets. Like Michael Smithson was defending, like they went through hell and back, which forged their relationship.
Yeah.
It was kind of cute because he was really into Kang Mirai. Like Michael Smithson wanted him some Kang Mirai
He was
sauce.
one of the definitely in the harem.
Like
of course.
beautiful, intelligent, incredible, insane.
Poor guy.
Very much think Kaguya-sama
Okay.
from Kaguya Wants to Be Confessed.
You could see like the jealousy as Katarina was getting feelings for Michael Smithson. You could see like the saltiness in her interaction with the one woman who's better at magic than her that she knows of, because no one knew about Yu Il-han's mother, or else it wouldn't be a competition.
No, it's like that interaction with that one chick from Seven Deadly Sins and Gil Thunder.
That's a very Yeah.
That was the thirstiest bitch of all time.
Oh man, she just like
But yeah, no, I think there's 5 that I can think of off the top of my head that I can confirm.
So now
Which were Yuna, Mirai, the 3 angels.
the 3 angels.
I'm trying to think if there was
the
other
princess, the Wolfkin princess.
Was
She has
Yeah,
a
she
kid.
did.
Like in that
I
last
couldn't remember if she
chapter,
hits up with like Flimmer though. I couldn't
Nah,
remember.
nah.
But no, it was, yeah.
that
you're
was
right.
his woman. Like,
It was just a
literally,
lot of
It was a
girls.
lot of women, and then like his armor became people, and then they dated,
People are
and they're great. Like you don't understand. His house
No. When
and his armor,
he
date
built
and
armor,
have kids.
infused a spirit into it, and then became so powerful that he then created a body that his spirit armor could then inhabit the body, and then his armor and his house, which he had also infused with the spirit and given a body to, fell in love and had kids.
oh, it's like Andy and Sarah from Eureka.
It is, yeah.
It's kind of adorable. Yeah.
It was beautiful.
It's actually incredible.
No,
I love them, by the way. The house is, I love the house because she was a bad guy. She was born, this is another spoiler that
The house
no one
was a
talked
bad
about.
guy.
Needs to be talked about. So in the thousands of years, the 1,000 years he's alone on the planet, everything's frozen except for animals. And he's hunting and fucking with animals in nature. And there was one animal that was like, fuck that guy.
and
like,
built up
he-
anger and aggression.
and he
There's always one
cultivated
1,000 years.
for thousands of years of this dude's been killing my homies. We gonna get back at this motherfucker.
What was the animal?
What kind of animal was it? Yeah.
I forgot his
don't
name,
remember, but-
but he became key to fighting the war. He's like a doppelganger of Yu Il-han.
Oh,
He
okay.
like using Yu Il-han as like the prototype for getting strong, but at the same time he like cultivates his own way of stuff and then creates beings on the level of like demigods to fight Il-han.
So sort of like the doppelganger from Overgeared.
Wait, like, yes, if it was also an evil mastermind.
Oh, okay, cool.
This guy just like really had the bone to pick with humans and Yu Il-han.
It just kind of came out of nowhere. No, it didn't come
It
out
was
of
in the
nowhere. It was very
background.
much there. It was the thing that you were like, I'll figure out what that is, until it was the problem.
Why does bad shit keep happening in Korea? Oh yeah, nature wants me to die because
Nature is real mad at me.
Yeah, the literal spirit of the earth is pissed at me.
but that guy's also a bro later. So
Yeah,
he's
it's fine. Yu Il-han is real good. Well, he becomes a reaper. Like, that's one of his major identities, is like literally a soul reaper. So he as he starts killing people, he just like captures all their souls, and like they all like talk to him, or he like shuts them up, or whatever.
Or feeds him to the boy Orochi, the homie.
Yeah, one of the first things he killed was like a straight up like 8-headed Orochi.
Wonderful.
And that's
and
how he gets the name Susanoo.
it was, I think,
Susanoo
one of the
in
first things
Japan.
he killed once he hit his 3rd class, which is when he got Reaper.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was 2nd. Like, when he got right after he got the Reaper class and got the ability to collect souls, he killed Orochi. and then trapped him, and then made a spear. The equipment in this book is so fucking cool.
Because he's a blacksmith.
Yeah,
Because
like,
blacksmith
he makes it all
is
himself.
legitimately his main identity.
That's actually the next tag I was going to say was blacksmithing and
Yeah, well, let's fucking talk about...
crafting.
Let's talk about his fucking crafting then, because it's important. He becomes a master of 3 separate skills. It's soul enchantment, magic, engineering, and blacksmithing.
Right.
And by the end, combines all 3 into basically just creation. Because that's basically the point, is he steps in and ends up filling in the steps of the god of creation. That's how good of a blacksmith he is. He gains the ability to create something from nothing eventually.
The god of like blacksmithing was mad salty, by the way, that this kid was so good. Like
Early on.
it mirrors that with Overgeared. How Overgeared at first the god of blacksmith hated his fucking ass.
Until they had to fight.
Until they had a fight.
Mindful, this is not Overgeared Knights.
Oh no!
I mean,
Yeah, no, whatever.
No.
Spoilers for anyone who's reading Overgeared. But, actually, that is not a huge... Well, whatever.
It's really not, but
We'll talk about it later. Because the Overgeared Knights episode is coming at some point.
Yeah, it's coming.
We're
it's
looking
coming
for
next.
it. Honestly, might
Maybe.
get split up into like 2 or 3 because there's a lot of shit to talk about. I don't know if I'll be able to do it justice in 1 hour.
okay. So the blacksmith god hates him. The gift he gets from angels also, bro. He gets he never has to worry about a forge again to forge things because he gets the homie, which is a flame spirit.
Yeah.
That also
I remember
becomes
that
a
guy.
dude.
Oh, I didn't know he was going to become a dude. That's too cute.
Yeah.
I mean, like, from the sounds
Oh.
of it, everything just levels up
Time
until
out.
it becomes
Because a
dudes.
woman. Let me phrase.
Oh.
The flame spirit is a woman.
Part of the harem?
She loves him, but I don't know if it's part of a harem.
Would he stick his dick in a flame?
I mean, he
Could.
could.
Yeah.
Flames
He-
can't harm him.
that's
It's
part
a
of his
plot
domain.
point, he is literally the god of fire.
They set it up so that he could fuck that flame lady, is all I'm saying.
He
There's
could.
a person who tries to fight him with flames, and it's like, actually should be stronger with him, but he's just kind of like,
The forge in me, like this, son. Like this, son.
No, but when he fights Orochi, he builds a spear that has 8 separate tips that can separate, and then he can use mana to inject into them and control them individually. But he inserts Orochi into that so that he has a spear that is typically at 1 point, but can split into 8 points.
So he gets gifts for doing all of this shit for the angels. He gets one gift, which is like limited time stop in an area.
What is it? What is it in the form of? Is it like a...
Hourglass of Eternity.
Oh,
Does
okay.
he
name of
break
the
it,
artifact.
or does he...
It is like a god tier artifact, one of
Yeah.
the few that Heaven's Army had. But honestly, like, the issue was they kept giving Yuilhan jobs, and he kept beating them so far over the expectations and minimum requirements for the tasks that they had to give him over and above rewards.
And send more angels down to contract with him because it's like, we need.
We've given you too much stuff. We need to have people watching you.
He uses that, so you
But
can
it's
have
fine because
these-
he just like takes them all.
You know how in cultivation novels you like go into seclusion to do your shit?
Yeah.
He goes, time to pop this hourglass and spend way too long crafting.
Yeah.
Oh.
At the beginning, it's a month. I think
Yeah.
is where it starts. But
And
eventually, he learns how to like make it better, so it becomes longer, and that becomes hilariously broken as it moves on.
Because he can bring people in there.
Because yeah, it's not just him; he can bring other people in there too.
So it's the world, but even better.
Yeah.
No, and he
Especially
does.
in
He
bad
does.
situations,
there's-
he's like, I need to
There's a time
pause
he's
this.
fighting dragons. He's fighting dragons, and he gets to a point where someone's about to murder him, and he's like, "All right, pause. All right, now I've got a month to build traps around all the existing dragons around me, and also train myself and craft with all the dragon materials I just harvested."
Let me make this, okay, Pal Bunker becomes his, I am losing, I need to fix this problem. There's a point where he's like, my Pal Bunker isn't strong enough. And then he
Let me just
builds
craft a better pile book.
Pal Bunker, using the pieces of these dudes I killed. Like tendons of these magical creatures are stronger than steel. And he's making it and doing it, and he's like, I'm not strong enough to fucking pull this shit back.
And
Let
he's
me
very,
crank it.
very strong.
He was making like single-use POW bunkers to murder things. It's
Yeah,
like a
he'll take-
bomb goes off.
It's so great because, like, he'll be in a world where people are literally killing each other and plotting over, like, a single third-class magic stone. And he has used a 5th-class magic stone in a one-time use item that will be consumed and destroyed after it is used once. No regrets. 0 regrets because, A, he has thousands of third-class magic stones.
It's funny. He becomes like so good at killing dragons, but then like he is the father of dragons. So like
it's fine. Dragons are cannibals. They gain power by eating the meat of dragons.
Yeah,
it's
you're
fine.
right. You're right.
That's
Can we talk
awesome.
about Ymir, please?
Yeah, Ymir, his son, who's the best.
I love Ymir so much. He's like,
All right, do that before Bill gets one more genre in.
Yeah.
Tell us who Ymir is.
okay.
All right, Ymir is his son. And by his son, there's this female dragon in one of the first worlds he goes to. He kind of always has this thing with dragons because, like, he kills Orochi, and the spear he builds with Orochi has dragon slaying power, so he tries to find, like, dragon folk kind of things to fight, to farm, because can fight higher level stuff against them. He is essentially aware that he's in a story. He's not, but he's like, things follow convenient plot points too much. It's not supposed to, but it has been, so now I just get it, and now I'm just going to predict things based on it.
Gotcha.
Genre savviness, as we were talking about.
He's just genre savvy, and it doesn't bite him ever.
No, it doesn't, because he is the one who predicts and creates all foreshadows.
So when he goes to the elves' old world that's
Yeah,
been
it's an
taken over
elven
by
world.
dragons, he meets this one dragon that's going to join the Garden of
Garden of Sunset. His
Garden of
father's
Sunset.
thing, although
And
at the time he doesn't know it.
And she asks him to take care of one thing inside of her mountain before she gives her life to save him because of all that. Skipping past that, it's actually really awesome how they set this up. But he gets there and he uses his magic to open this thing up, and it's her unfertilized eggs, and his magic fertilizes the eggs.
Oh no.
So it becomes...
Nice.
So a dragon is born. That is his son.
Looks just like him.
It is a human shape, but it is a dragon.
And
Dragons
he also
become
has,
dragons when they become fourth class creatures.
they also have he has crazy amounts of dragon meat at this time because this guy people pay him to dismantle things because they kill shit they can't take apart, and he's the god of dismantling. He's
because
just
that was
so,
another skill he taught himself in the 1,000-year gap.
because he was killing and hunting every animal on planet Earth, which is why that one guy hates him. That's why Mother Earth hates him.
It sounds like RuneScape. Like he had unlimited leveling in RuneScape while
Yeah.
everybody was gone.
No, he went through and got everything to 99. Like, every single thing.
He leveled all the skills up to 99. Like, he perfected his potential without leveling at all.
Because he had no exposure to magic. That was one of his limiting factor. He didn't have magic for a long time. So his body was honed to a fine point. But
That's actually why they sent angels to him, because the angels literally existed there to draw mana closer to him, to acclimate him to mana faster, to catch up to everyone else on the planet.
Give him more angels, please. He's got to catch up to
That
this.
is what happens.
But the beauty of it all is the son is born with all the qualities of Yu Ilhan
And his mother.
and his mother. So he's very...
So he has dragon's innate talent for magic.
yes, but he's good at learning. He's diligent. He's hardworking. He has his father's stealth, except his stealth covers everyone because he loves people.
Aww.
And Yuilhan
That's
also
adorable.
took a subclass called Dragon Rider. So
Aw.
he and Ymir both gain stats when building each other, and eventually Ymir does become like his mount, and they are terrifying. There was a moment where Yuilhan was fighting like a 7th rank being, and he killed a 6th rank being, or he attacked the 7th rank being, but didn't kill him in one hit. So the 7th rank being was able to see through his concealment. He shines with fire so bright that the guy can't see his silhouette, and then uses that to conceal.
Yeah, that's like inverse hiding in the shadows. It's like that episode of Samurai Jack.
There's a part where, for a period of time, Yu Ilhan is cut off from his loved ones, his friends, and his son. His very, very young, at this point, weak to Yu Ilhan, but strong to other things, son, in a place that's so high level and so barren, like a fucking hell. And Yu Ilhan uses his stealth to a level that pushes his stealth to a level he's never had to do before, for them to survive. Killing things.
I think you mean Ymir. Well, I mean, Ymir does his own stuff.
No, my bad. Ymir pushes his stealth to protect everyone till his father can get to them to free him from this fucking hell.
There's a certain point at which Yu Ilhan gains so much strength that the universe starts making Earth's cataclysm happens way too fast.
It's like, God.
Because he's there. So he basically has to leave Earth at a certain point and be like, if I go back to Earth, its great cataclysm will immediately happen and it will become a higher ranked world, and then every other higher faction can invade it, and they will fuck up the entire Earth immediately, so I can't go back to Earth until I'm strong enough to personally prevent that.
He also turned the entire planet Earth into a smart TV. That's a thing that happens. That doesn't matter. Ymir. Okay.
Yeah. So Ymir gets left, but the reason why this is irrelevant is because when he can't come back to Earth, the people who control Earth, or like they're still kind of have a sway over Earth, they return everyone that was sent out, like all the quote unquote returnees.
Yeah.
They send them back to the planets they got sent out to, and no one is left on Earth, with the exception of kids born
All of the babies.
after the things were sent.
Because they had nowhere to get sent to. So they get sent to like actual hell, which is like a pit, like a hidden pit inside of Earth, but not Earth at the same time, filled with these monsters. And Ymir saves all of the babies and then raises them into an army, and they consume the bodies of these like demons.
Yeah, and then
it
like
makes
eat
them
them,
stronger.
like, eat this demon meat, it will make you strong.
And like Ymir's like 10 here, taking care of like
An army of 2 to 1, like 1 to 2 year
like the
olds.
oldest is like 7, the youngest are like infants. And some infants were still nursing, so they died instantly on the swap. So he saved as many as he can, and they have to like use team, so they all have like max teamwork feats, and like
This is the baby army.
and they love Ymir. Like
Yeah,
everyone loves Ymir,
Well, of course,
Well,
he
everyone loves
saved
Ymir
everyone.
regardless.
regardless. But these children especially love Ymir. And then because they love Ymir, they love Ymir's dad.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Because Ymir's dad is
Well,
like,
Ymir also spends the entire time being like, well, if my dad was here, this wouldn't be a problem. He'd just instantly kill all these people. Oh,
which
God.
is true.
All right, give us another genre, Savvy, because I want to get one more in, but I have to talk about when he becomes Susano. Continue.
It's hard because there's like 3 of them I really want to talk about. One of which is Shameless Protagonist.
I mean, he's shameless in the sense that, like, he'll just, like, walk into your headquarters and be like, I'm just gonna kill you all, I'm just strong enough to do it, sorry.
That's a cool story. Was it Argentina or was it Brazil? I don't remember what it was. I'm going to go with Argentina because I like saying Argentina. Is invaded by another stuff because they have like world wars. They have like literally realm wars, right? And because they want to take over our realm because their realm is dying because they're losing shit, they literally killed all of the Argentinians and then
Like, war
put their bodies on as suits.
Oh no.
And Ilhan saw this and is like, oh no, all you dudes gotta die now.
And
so
he just kills Argentina.
all of Argentina. He has to kill them all. And then he like finds the weird portal they made deep in the ocean, goes in the ocean, goes to their planet and has like a face off. One man versus your entire realm.
And he won very hard.
But like the battles were legit. Like they had like the super dope dude, like you Ilhan of their world, and that fight was fucking sick, dude. Like,
actually, yeah, great.
like it was like that dude was like part of his head's blown off, and he's still fighting because if he doesn't win here, their realm goes away.
But also the heart of the Shameless is, like, him freezing time in the middle of a fight. Like, the fact that his concealment is one of his main weapons, so most of the time, he wins fights in one hit without his enemy ever being aware that he existed.
There's like a baby monster that appears towards the beginning, and he kills that baby using the body parts of his mother that he crafts into weapons designed to kill it.
Yep.
That's a thing that happened.
Hardcore.
Yeah, no, he's pretty intense. Like,
That's the most metal thing you've ever said.
He has a bottom line, and, like, what he defines as good, he very diligently pursues.
He's beyond. There's a point where he's like
He's
beyond the
utilitarian.
morals of
Yeah.
humanity. Like when you're dealing with like the fate of the universe. Thankfully, he has wives which keep him like balance him out. But he has very much begins to gain the mindset of that of a dragon, like
And a god.
in a god, like a dragon god, where like
That doesn't sound like a healthy, crazy.
you're
mindset.
all my
is when you're
my
on.
children. Everything that wants to be a dragon, like wyverns are not dragons. All right,
They want to be dragons.
they want to be dragons. If you want to be dragon, if you become strong enough, I will make you a dragon.
Because one of the best things he invents is a literal thing called the Cradle of Miracles, which was just a vat he made, and
was
he
just a
did so
bucket.
much creation
It was
inside
just
of
a
it that it
bucket.
became a literal god tier artifact.
This is fate wanted this to happen. Okay, Ymir was hungry, and he has a bunch of dragons. He just killed a bunch of fucking dragons. I'm gonna feed Ymir dragons, and I'm also gonna make gear at the same time. But I'm bleeding these dragons out. I need somewhere to store these blood because I'm taking it apart. So he puts the blood of the dragon in a bucket. He'll do something with it later.
He just leaves it
But
there.
like the blood of dragons and the hearts of dragons are filled with so much pure magic aether that it like transforms the bucket filled with dragon blood in the bucket.
Also
Anything
ferments.
he puts in it, it ferments. He makes like wine,
Dragon
and,
wine.
like, things like he's like, I wonder if I can make something good. Let me throw this in this bucket, and the bucket like turns it into awesome. He bathes in the bucket.
He starts using like the rest energy, like the life energy from dragons and stuff to like fulfill his requirements for resting, to level up his like resting skill. He doesn't rest for long periods of time.
Oh yeah,
he's
this
super
is an S rank.
good at
By the way,
resting.
it's a super S rank ability. Rest is so hard to like. They're like shook when they're like, wait,
You have a max level rest.
you have max level rest? Fucking like Ernest's like, how? Like, how did you get?
I
How?
sleep very efficiently.
In
I don't know what to
between
tell you.
blinks, just that's a power nap right there.
All right, so give us one more genre. Let's do it.
The last thing was lack of common sense, because that one was that seemed neat.
Everything Ilhan does lacks common sense.
Yeah, he defies. It's less lack of common sense and more Gurren Lagann kick common sense to the curb and do the impossible. Like-
A denial of common sense.
Yeah. Half of this novel is people being like, well, this is why this couldn't possibly work, while he does it in front of them.
He gets like dudes that he thinks are rivals from like the Destruction Demon Army. They think they're. That was another. By the way, that was another one. Remember the sick succubus chick?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That was another one of his
that's
harem.
another one of his harem wives.
She was the person who was so strong that like people above her rank were scared of her because she would just like seduce you and no one could resist her.
and you just die.
But he's literally being seduced by the person who is blessed by the god of love and the god of beauty, and like has such a deep emotional connection that he's like, I don't even give a shit about you. So he just murders her and captures her soul, creates a homunculus and puts it inside him, and it's like, you work for me
But
now.
she had
Here's
come
your
over because she was told in a prophecy
by Gabriel.
by Gabriel that you're going to fall in love with like the person that will destroy.
The fifth, the fifth,
You're gonna-
the leader of the fifth faction that doesn't exist.
So
yet.
she was super into him before. Like she wasn't going to fight him back, but he was like, "Fuck you," because you were hurting my women and my people. But like whatever. But she like serves him. She's all about some Ilhan. Like when she was a spirit, she was like, "But I love you so much. You're fucking." She's like, "No, 100%. She loves him."
no. There's like they kind of like tease a betrayal now.
Not
Not her. No, she's 100% you. Ilhan
She's like
fanatic.
extra badass. Like she can hold off Heaven's army by herself. What was I saying? I got distracted.
Lack of
Something
common
she was
sense.
doing, yeah, from lack of common sense.
Oh yeah,
He defies
everything
common
he
sense.
deals with just ignores
what
common
genre
sense.
would you say most fits this book? Like what's the one thing that you could classify it as the hardest?
That's really hard to say.
Oh, man, it's
it
everywhere.
encompasses so much. That's
It's got good comedy,
world
has
building.
really good comedy. Like there's a part where he has to like get to America and gets on like a plane, right? Blending in on a plane because he couldn't buy. He doesn't have his own private plane. Doesn't have enough money.
Yeah.
So he like sneaks onto like a commercial plane. He's dealing with things getting there, puts on a helm, dealing with shit. But like the interactions with like American returnees or like all of his interaction with Na Yuna and Kang Mirai's brother, hilarious. It's really funny. Like
I love all the people that like try to be rivals with Yu Il-han over the course of the story, and then eventually you're like, all right, no, I give up.
oh,
Yeah,
like
fuck it,
remember
he's
that
too good.
Destruction Demon Army guy on the planet that like rises up to the Destruction Demon Army, comes back and is training. He's
Taraka
always
the
been-
dragon?
Yeah, always been the strongest. He's like, you're my rival. And then gets bodied. But like this guy was like a genius of geniuses. Like he rose up in like no time at all. He was insane. Incredible potential. Doesn't matter because you're just a job.
Like that.
Oddly enough, a really good contender for top genre would be game system.
You got max level resting.
Yeah.
But no, the Akashic Record, which is a thing we've talked a lot about but not actually touched upon,
It's so cool.
is like the game system of this
it
whole
seems
series.
like a concept that exists in a lot of things.
Well, like
it is, but it's very specific in what it is in this universe. It's like the universe has a mana when mana exists, it creates records of what has happened that while it's touched, basically. So when someone does the craziest, greatest blacksmithing achievement ever, they become saved in the records as like this person was the god of blacksmithing.
Just the concept of it.
When that person dies or goes away, their soul, their existence is locked in the record.
All of their records don't fade. Because that's really all a person is. You're just an amalgamation of the records that you were able to create by being alive. And these people were such the paragons of what they've done, which there's power in being good at anything. Like a Dao, these people have taken their Dao to its final level. But that's a funny story because God had an issue with these people who've taken their Dao to their ultimate level. And that kind of is a driving force behind why God did the things he did.
He's a petty bitch and he wishes he was better. And like he isn't. And so he got sad about it and then left and became Greed, the leader of the Destruction Demon Army, and trapped all the gods of the Akashic Records in like a tiny old subdimension and has been slowly using them to analyze the Akashic Record and try and create his own system that is outside of it. Because he feels mana is a mistake and wants to erase the system, but that means he also has to erase the Akashic Record, which is tied into his own power.
So he has to make a simulacrum of it before he can destroy it.
Yeah.
And then like merge his own self with that concept. So by destroying the universe as a whole, the multiverse as a whole, he himself will not be destroyed.
And this is why he has been actually advancing the worlds and making great cataclysms happening and in creating the circumstances for higher beings to exist, because he wants more of these gods and more of these records to be established so that he has more fodder to use and analyze to create his broken universe, which is referred to as Harmageddon.
Disgusting. Dan would love that.
It's actually not because of harm. There's a metal called Harcanium, which is what most of the angelic and like top tier equipment and stuff in the universe is created
like
out of.
Hark, the Herald Angels thing.
Essentially, yes.
Disgusting.
Harcanium. And it is Armageddon combined with Harcanium. Harcanium Armageddon. Harmageddon. That's not explained for like 60 chapters.
So they let you think that they're dumb.
After the term exists.
They let you think that they're like, wow, that's really cheap and kind of dumb. And then they're like, actually, no, we're not.
No, this was planned since the very beginning.
For good reason.
Satan, not a bad guy.
Yeah, Satan totally chill, actually.
Satan has never been a bad
Satan
guy.
legitimately in the story, helped the underdog and tried to prevent all the archangels from killing themselves to solve the problem.
And I give Michael and the other archangels a lot of shit, but they're kind of cool themselves. Like they have, like one of them, like attains a new level of power because dealing with Yu Ilhan before he is fully evolved was that push that pushed him to the next level,
Yu-Ilhan
where
was
he
such
like
a tribulation that he was able to break
eclipsed
through.
where he was stuck for like chaos cycles.
He's sitting there like I can't be more strong, and then he's like suddenly like, no, I am God.
Yeah, look, I'm not just an angel. I'm the new god. Let's get it.
But he wasn't.
He wasn't.
Yu-Ilhan beat him before even.
He even gained like a domain he was strong at, like a god's domain. He gained that of light. But it's like, what is light to the essence of fire? Okay, what is light to creation?
I mean, like,
I could let light be. Okay.
Basically, this is a story about a universe of higher level beings that are salty that they aren't Yu-Ilhan.
Except his dad. His dad's really cool about it.
Yeah.
well, yeah, but I mean, like,
Way
Well, that's
about
because his dad
son.
is like, oh yeah, my son.
he also saw it in the he could see the future.
Gabrielle also has a problem. He's just like his son, where he acquires women without trying.
Good old Gabe.
He didn't want to. And his wife is kind of scary about it. But she allows
all those
this
married
one
angels.
archangel chick. She allows her to be a second existence around her.
Which is the only
Allows.
reason why it's allowed, because Yu-Ilhan is literally like, if you make my mom sad, I will erase your existence.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And that is a very legitimate threat at that point in the series.
He's like, Gabriel, please. If my mom is sad, you just don't get to be, okay?
Yeah, because Yu-Ilhan built quite a grudge with pretty much all of the other higher factions. There's just an arc where he like starts like turning them against each other, and then shortly after where he just beats them all single-handedly. It's pretty great.
Well, we're not gonna. I mean, like, we can still do it. We didn't even get to talk about. But what's one thing that you must talk about?
I just have to talk about auto accuracy and his goddamn inventory bag.
Okay.
It's combined.
Yeah.
When he gains the title of Susano, his concealment exists, right?
Yes.
People just give him titles like news articles, but one of my favorite titles is Susano, and he gains that ability. I think one of the great cataclysms actually happens, and people are fighting these like monster break. It was a dungeon break.
Yeah, and this is this is the same situation where Orochi shows up as the final thing he needs to deal with.
Yeah, so it was a relatively big point in the story.
Sure.
Basically, he gains this ability called like auto accuracy, where like he can't miss, and he has this might actually be later in the story, but whatever. There's multiple things that lead up to this, but he has this ability where he can recall like the inventory bag. The angels give him like a spatial bag.
Yeah.
But they keep upgrading it because he keeps specifically requesting that they do that. So it starts having things like weight transfer, remote grab, management in your head. Like, so he starts being a master of inventory management and starts doing things like, oh, I'm now above the person in the air. I will transfer all the weight in my bag into my spear and then just drop down onto the opponent.
Yeah.
But he's literally got like the remains of 100,000 20-ton beasts that he's hunted in the past 2 days.
A bunch of dragons,
Or dragons in his bag. So he's literally got like thousands of tons of weight.
On top of ores.
Or hundreds of thousands of tons of weight.
And he just punctures them.
And he just like changes it into like his feet.
Like moving all of his weight other places. Because before he was just hard body. He had like a bunch of space, but he didn't have weight management on it. So the whole time he's fighting, weighted by a bunch of fucking shit. And then they're like, oh, we just put weight management on it, and like, but I want to keep the weight though.
Yeah,
he was like swinging the bag at people.
Can I decide what I do with the weight? Like, I'd like to do stuff with it.
And Erda was like, yeah, we're gonna do it. And then they called a bunch of angels down to do their ritual to make it happen.
You can't see
But then they
the
don't realize
movements
what they've
Richard's
done.
making, but they're intricate.
He's so much more broken with it because he starts doing things like, oh, well, recollecting and doing stuff. Like, I can do all sorts of stuff with recollecting. So, like, he'll do a thing where, like, he'll throw the spear, and then because he'll kill an enemy when one hit, his concealment doesn't break because he killed the enemy with the attack, and he's a reaper. And because the spear is inside the person, it's still and now he recalls the spear
in the thing,
the
in
monster
the body,
caster
the monster
is part of the item.
Puts it right back in this thing.
So he's monster fishing.
Oh, yeah.
So he'll just, without anyone being able, he'll run into a situation where thousands of people are fighting for their lives, and he'll just appear in bone spears and like random spears or just
Dragon bone spear.
Like one spear, but thrown like 1,000 times in 10 seconds will just like kill 1,000 monsters.
Here's the thing. That's coming from the sky, by the way. Japan's having a dungeon break. Everything's doing. People are dying. And all you see is just this rain of spears. We don't know where it's coming from, and it's invisible.
It's Susanoo! It's the god of war! The god of wars comes.
The god of storms is coming down. The storm god is saving us, saving Japan, and and then America's claiming it because it's the same dude. It's the same thing where an invisible spirit is killing all the problems in San Diego.
Well, yeah.
And they had a different name from there.
Yeah, he gets a bunch of fun titles. Like, it starts at Sungdane Bolt.
Sungdane Bolt. Yeah.
But it goes
he was wearing there was a Hulk and an Iron Man mask and saving Korea. It was great.
So he ran super fast and he had on, he was from the university, so they called him Sungdane Bolt.
Terrible.
It was great though. But no, it's such a fucking fun thing. Eventually he gets bone pillars that he starts using in the place of those spears, and he gains into the thing called auto accuracy, so his attacks can't miss. So he just starts doing things where he summons bone pillars over everyone and just lets them fall on everyone.
They'll hit where they're supposed to. It's fine.
I need to talk about my girl, the mansion. Okay, he makes a mansion. People are confused. Why did he buy the land there? Why is he making a mansion? Because we're about to be invaded.
Because he blacksmiths a mansion.
Of all of his breakthroughs in engineering, it can fly. It has auto defense systems. It has a thought spirit for the AI.
It can capture the energy and the records from the things it kills to power itself.
Oh,
and
man.
he builds these mirrors that can shoot laser beams.
Of course.
All of the lawn ornaments and fountains and seats and windows and everything. It's just like a fancy ass mansion. All of the bushes all of it are traps. They have multiple purposes and they kill things. The pool is the most scary. The pool is the most scary thing he has. The pool just murders things.
Yeah. So the fucking, like, the spirit of the world that we were talking about earlier, he takes that spirit and puts it in the house. It was able to control this power of the world, so it's able to manage all the different traps and systems in the house. But eventually he keeps adding so many more that he has to build god-tier items to improve her capabilities.
Keep in mind, she's also was really sad because she was just born and she was so pretty because she was, and then you killed her instantly. She was just born and died instantly. And she's just like, can I get a body one day, please? I was so
He's like,
pretty.
yeah, sure. Like, serve me well, and I can definitely make you a body.
So she worked really fucking hard. So much like her brain was getting torn apart by having to manage everything at the same time.
So he made her a sweet straw hat that made her mental capabilities like 1,000 times better. And she's like, oh god, it'll be easy now. Now I'm gonna craft 1,000 more of those mirrors.
And you gotta control it at the same time.
It's not going to get harder for each. It's not going to get 1 times harder for each one. So, like, you know, she'll figure out a system to manage them, like, bulk-wise. It'll be fine.
It eventually becomes like this whole thing where you just see it like the world is being marauded by monsters, so it's just literally going around the world killing all of them. And it's got like dungeon trap effect that draws monsters to it.
So
in a
all
frenzy.
the waves that break come towards it, so it can kill more things. And it's also, it gets its own experience and shares experience with Ohan and everyone else.
It's his equipment.
That counts. That should count.
No,
He's not
it's
necessarily
a cohort.
her, but that should count.
So it's not, yeah. So like it counts as a thing that he has. It's dumb. He perfectly learns the system and abuses the fuck out of it.
Of course he does.
All right. So, but I think that is probably, unfortunately, all we have time for on this episode. We may actually come back to this one because I would love to talk more about this one.
To talk about.
I do have a tiny bit of business, just the tiniest. I have a super long review because we have some reviews in here. It's actually from a person that we know fairly well. I'm gonna let Richard read this one. This is a good one.
Which one is it?
The fucking long one in the middle.
Oh man, fun times.
From Keep On Laughing.
From Keep On Laughing.
He's a friend from our Discord.
He's a friend from our Discord, friend of the podcast.
He is indeed a friend of the podcast.
The enthusiasm you guys have for the book that you were talking about sends me running to start the book or pick the novel back up. And I find myself genuinely enjoying the book more after listening to you guys chat about it. You drop hints and mention events in passing that make me want to rush through the novel to the events that you touch on, just so I can experience these scenes myself. I would almost prefer more slight spoilers from later in the series to add further fuel to the fire. Personally, I think it's the genuine enthusiasm that you guys have for the book you're talking about that makes listening to your podcast so great. I legitimately pulled my vehicle over when your most recent episode ended to find the machine reading of the latest novel on YouTube because I couldn't start reading until I got home from work. Unfortunately, chapters 1 through 20 have been deleted for some reason, so I'm stuck until my lunch break looking forward to opening the book and giving it a read. Wow. Shout outs to Keep On Laughing.
Right?
Dude.
Yeah, he actually requested this episode personally.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to be able to acquiesce. We really did need to do.
Absolutely.
This was such a 25 chapters is like. No. You definitely like you read book. I'm not.
We didn't have much room
book
either.
Goes crazy places.
It's not what it starts with.
It is completed at 3:48 with like 4 after chapters.
The 4 after chapters are so good.
Oh yeah,
they are the fucking cherry on top of this Sunday.
Please read the soccer game. Please.
The soccer game is one of the after chapters.
Oh my god.
All right, we have a didn't even get to talk about segment, but it feels like this one's going to be.
This is a whole didn't get to talk about.
This one's that.
We got to do a shout out to our patron.
Oh yeah, we have. He's not on the level where we give him a personal shout out, but like he gets one for free because he's the first one.
James.
That's fine. It wasn't anonymous on the thing, and like that's a first name.
He joined the Discord. He was like, "I love you guys. I like the podcast. I gave you a pay. It's up to the Patreon." Shout outs to him.
Yeah, man. He's listening to this episode before all you jerks. Not that you guys are jerks, but like.
No, we appreciate you all.
Yeah, so James, this is for you.
James, don't tell them. Don't tell them I called them jerks.
No, I take that. No. Listen to it a week early and tell everyone what they're missing out on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, do that. But we are putting this up behind the Patreon because now we kind of have to. And
it would be unfair to James if we didn't.
Exactly. If you want to listen to the next episode a week before everybody else, just like James, then you can join our Patreon. It's just Tiger Coaster.
We'll be putting up various bonus content up there.
Yeah,
as
we
well.
got a ton of it.
We've
and
already got some up behind there. There's some good stuff.
apparently we have an editor set up now, so we're gonna be a lot more regular.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
Did you like Just a Bill when we did that? There's another episode of that back up there.
Yep.
Did you like? Do you like Kamen Rider? We have a couple episodes of a show about that. Like we could just this goes up at some point. We got bonus content, you guys. If you like hearing us talk, we talk about a lot of shit. We could just do that.
Nostalgia goggles, we could throw that boat in there.
Oh man, nostalgia goggles. That was a fun fucking show. I want to do that again.
Yeah, that was a good time. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's so much we didn't get to talk about because like.
Let me do.
thing
We
goes-
got a Twitter. It's Tiger Coaster. Go see us on Facebook at Tiger Rollercoaster Productions or something like that.
And plug the Patreon.
It's Tiger Coaster on Patreon.
Yeah.
It's just
And join our Discord.
there's
Join our
yes,
Discord.
Please join our
We've
Discord.
got some fun people on there that when something cool happens in a chapter, we all talk about it. And
When
we geek out
Overgeared
together.
or 9-Star Hegemon Body Art gets an update, I'll be in there.
We made specific channels for those, so nobody could get spoiled. It's a good time. It's
But no, we talk about how we're can't stop reading Overgeared together.
yeah.
It's actually messing up my reading of other things. That's how much I love Overgeared.
Come join our weird branch of the F5 sect. Anyway, thanks for joining us tonight on Treading the Path of Heaven. What didn't we get to talk about?
Like,
Just 3 things. Do them quick. Ripping off a Band-Aid.
his transcendence into a higher level being. That whole scene. And
Okay.
they'll played up to it.
We didn't give Erda the respect she deserves because we didn't talk about her a lot, but Erda's great and she deserves to be talked about. And I'm sorry I didn't talk about her enough.
This one's for you, Erda.
Yeah, man. All right.
She gave up evolving for him, okay?
Ooh.
Like,
Oh
legitimately,
god, she pressed B.
We touched about Orochi's spear, but legitimately, the equipment in this book is so good it could almost be considered another character until it is literally another character.
Multiple other characters, it sounds like.
When he builds the literal living armor of fire that he can melt weapons into and then can spontaneously generate the form of that weapon out of the armor.
That's the kind of shit I'm looking for in these we didn't even get to talk about. Richard, you got one on that fucking fire forge level armor?
Oh yeah. But you're gonna have to wait for that for the next time we talk about this.
Oh man, we're
Because
gonna get a
for
nice...
real,
I will get stuck and
All right, so is this a nice?
Overgeared, I think, just opened up the door to, there's no way we're going to be able to do Overgeared in one. So it's going to be more. So we might as well do other books if we feel like it
So
deserves it. And this is
just
definitely one that I'd like
Everyone
to.
else is a returnee. Part 1 of, and then just
Yeah.
nothing.
We'll let you know when we're done.
yeah, exactly. Part 1 of.
I might just fucking read the whole book for you guys. Honestly, it's so good.
It did not take me very long once I got into it. And I took a week off because I was reading it too fast and I felt sad about how soon it was going to go away.
If I was better at acting, I would definitely do a books on tape of everyone else's Returnee because it's just that fun.
Oh, we could organize that.
With permission, yeah, I'd be happy to. That's pretty much going to be it for us this week. We really do appreciate all of you. And, we do apologize for any hiatus. Hopefully, we'll be able to get some stuff out more regularly, like we said.
Ironing out, man. This is happening. We had a bit of a hiatus because we moved and all that.
Yeah, we did both. The podcast has moved now. Again, we're still in the Portland area, but we moved to a lot closer to the actual main city.
So we're in apartments now, and this is harder to manage. But we're going to, damn it, you're gonna get our voices in your ears. It's gonna happen.
We're gonna keep on keeping on. I can't promise a schedule, but we'll do what we can.
Yeah, no, it's gonna happen. You're just gonna get more of it. It's just how long it might take.
Yeah.
And everyone else, if they get pay the money, not very much.
Yeah, but
You could listen to it a week before everybody else. Before everybody else
is a returnee.
And with that, I think it's best we call it a day before Bill gets in his pun bag.
That's true.
You guys have a
Tiger Rollercoaster Productions. Tigers are scary. You try to get off.